exactly to sell your product, when exactly you want to get result from whatever you have, right? I would describe it like a funnel. So say for example you are applying to for a job, right? If you need a job right now and you want to get a job in the next 2 months, you should probably be applying to like maybe 20, 30 places. So your chances will be high. You can't apply to 2 places and tell yourself that next month you'll get a job. It's not possible, except you're a sought after person, or you already have years of experience, or you have that exposure or networking that will get you what you want within 2 months. So I would say that if you're doing that, you do 30, right? 30 people, 30 companies that you reach out to, you do an interview with like about 15, maybe you flunk like 10, and it boils down to like another 5, and then eventually you get what you want. So that's the way it works. So if you're doing a business or you have an information business that you're passing across, whether it be digital marketing, whether it be content creation, whether it be something that you've learned over time, you need to understand how you're going to reach out to people, push out what you're talking about. So online makes it easier, but offline, as I said, I was a little bit more harder, but as it stands, you still have a lot of people. But you can start organically. When I mean organically, starting from what you have already, maybe from your WhatsApp. You might not even have money to maybe do ads and stuff like cool stuff that people do. But start from the people around you, be organic, talk to them, go out there, tell them about what you do, tell them about what you've learned. If you picked up a skill, a particular skill set, and you can use that skill set to help your company, or like I said earlier on, talking about the fact that where you're able to study customer patterns and you're able to use Excel, you're able to use all these tools to work. They are in hot demand, right? It's no longer the fact that you need to know how to build, maybe build a machine. You don't need to know how to build a machine. That was before. You don't need all that. You don't need to go to the farm to do all those ones. You don't necessarily need to be a doctor. A lot of people study nursing and stuff. They're not doing that any longer. They've all moved to the service economy, right? They've translated to what they are doing to what they want to understand at this moment. So understand how you intend to make that money to build yourself from onset, from beginning to the end. So during the time when I decided I was going to leave I left 9 to 5. I went to entrepreneurship before I came back to 9 to 5 again. And during that time, I had to sit down and exactly study what exactly I had and what exactly I wanted to do, right? At some point, I was about giving up. It didn't work, right? But at other point, I found out that there's some key things that I didn't understand. I needed to, put into place, and I put that into place. And I found out that I was getting result. I was getting the money that I needed. I could have some money by my side and to save it. I understood where to meet people that want my product and my services, how to talk to people, how to have conversations that can actually give you that result. So whether it be whatever you're studying, you need it, and you need to understand that that is where we are right now. Okay, so think of things like telemedicine, right? I was having a conversation with somebody earlier and, talk about telemedicine. What does telemedicine do? You give opportunity to render medical services to people from they don't have to go to the hospital, right? So those are things that come with the knowledge economy, things that people build out of the fact that they have some residual knowledge on some things and they decide to add it to technology to make it a lot more better. So those are some of the things that happen. We see that in telemedicine. We see creative things like that in telemedicine. So it's moved from just going to a physical hospital to going to having to sit down in your house and offer some services, right? And that's based on the fact that there are a lot of information out there to really help people to get their job done. So it's very key for you. Where else is it available for? Even if you're a lawyer, even if you're just an undergraduate, there are a lot of things that can help you to actually push yourself to become much more better than where you are at the moment. So I'm going to give out some, I don't know if you can still hear me. Just let me know if you can hear me. You can let me know in the comment section if you can still hear me. I'm trying to search for a slide that I prepared. Just let me know if you can still hear me in the comment section. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, sure. If you just give me a second, I want to check what I prepared. Trying to check what I prepared. Okay, yeah, thank you. Can't seem to find it. Okay, but I'm trying to check for what where I put it. But that's fine if I can't find it. I'll just go ahead and continue. Looking for it. Okay, so I've seen what I'm looking for. Thank you very much. I've seen what I'm looking for. So those are some of the things that you would need to know. So in terms of using it to create wealth for yourself, some of the key things that are going to be a takeaway is to understand how money, how to make money work for you, and how money is useful for you. So the last 8 months, 9 months, giving me the opportunity to really understand money, how to use money, how to make money work for you, because if you don't know that as well, and if you decide to take your 10 naira and put it into a business, that might not actually work for you, especially if you're moving to the knowledge economy and using what you have to actually get what you want or what you know to get some results in terms of money. You need to understand the real value of money. Some of the things that you might need to understand is what's your return on investment. If you're going to spend 10,000 on something, how much are you getting back? Is it revenue? Is it profit? Is very key for you. So if you are going to invest your time or your assets into a particular service, you need to know how much you want to earn from it, how much is going to come out from it, so that it can actually work for you. They can actually work for you, which is very, very key. So one of the things that I do is for instance, I create a plan, and my plan will involve a budget, right? And the budget will involve how this is going to help me to grow, right? And I know that, okay, for this particular period in time, this is how much I need for me to help me to grow. So how much am I getting back? How much am I saving somewhere? How much am I investing? So I know that this is this session is backed up by financial committee, so you can meet them, have conversations with them, genuine conversations, and see how they can help you actually grow in this particular area, which is very, very key for you. So that's one thing to look out for. Then another thing you might need to look out for is actually to what we call, for every business that you run or anything that you're going to do, like I said earlier, in terms of the searching for job stuff, you need to understand the processes, understand how you go from point A to point B. How do you get people to understand what you have so that you can later convert to something that makes money for you, right? So in the onset, what you have is, for instance, we all came for this webinar, right? And the webinar is free. The webinar is not paid for, right? Not everybody will attend because it's free. However, if it was paid for, some people will definitely attend because they paid for it, and they will do anything possible to attend it because they paid. However, because it's free, some person will say because it's free, they can decide to join anytime. It's not a compulsory thing, right? So that's another category of people. So for the people that are attending here, right, after they've attended here, we have their contacts, we have their information. How do you want to follow up with them, right? Reach out to them later, talk to them, have a conversation with them, which is very, very key for you. So those are the kind of things that's going to help you in your processes when you're doing your business, in your processes when you're learning. You have to have the process that you're learning, you're using to learn, so that can actually help you as you push further. So what are the places, or what are the areas if you need to push forward or look forward to in the knowledge economy, right? So what are the things that you need to look out for as an individual? So as an individual, what are the things you need to look out for? So I'll say one of the things you need to look out for first and foremost is to understand who you are and what you do. So what are you good at, right? What's those things that if you sleep and wake up tomorrow and they wake you up and say, guy, you can talk about financial management, fine, that's fantastic. That means you need to work towards that. You need to go on YouTube, learn stuff. If you need to pay for it, learn it, which is very key. Number two, that you also need to do is implementation. I've seen a lot of people attend a lot of trainings, webinars, fantastic webinars like this and the likes, and there's no implementation. If you're not going to implement, then just forget about it. A lot of us might get ideas from this after this, but if you're not going to do it, one of the brands I like most in the entire world, and the reason why I like them is not because they are the best. I just like their slang. Nike says, "Just do it," right? Very simple. Just do it. So I see myself saying that I'm just going to go and do it, even if it doesn't work. Of course, I put in my strategy in place, and I'm hopeful that it works. But even if it doesn't work, I know that I've done it. It's not that I did not do it. So if there's something that you're thinking of doing, is there something that you have put together and you know that it's going to work for you? I think you should put effort into it and actually translate your idea into something that is going to work. If you cannot do it by yourself, you can get people to actually translate that idea to work for you. So the knowledge economy is equal to the skills that you have and the skill set that you possess. So you need to look out for more relevant skills. One of the skills that you can take up right now is data science. Data science, there are a lot of things under data science. If you don't like coding like me and the likes, do you understand? If you don't want to be a tech pro or tech sis in that area, you could look further. There are things you can do. You can do selling software as a service. You can sell, you can write, you can talk, right? You could basically just educate people, open a blog, educate people about that product and service. So there are so many sectors that you can go to as an individual or as a person. So if you're able to harness these places, it can help you. So one of the other things you can do is go online, follow people. There's a popular adage that says follow who know road, right? So follow people that you admire, follow them, right? They might be in the sciences, they might be in medicine, whatever it is, follow them and emulate what they are doing. Try and see what they are doing, follow them and do something better. You can copy them, but you don't have to copy people verbatim. Because of course, if you copy anybody, you have to be credited to them. But you can copy them and see what strategies these guys are employing and replicate it. There is no how, if you don't replicate something, there's no how you see something good. And there's something that you see very popularly around in my church. They say testimonies are replicating themselves. So you see somebody doing it and you're doing the same thing, it's going to be replicated in your life, right? Which is very, very key for you as well. So follow people that are doing the same thing that you're doing, and niche down, understand how your finances are going to help you, understand if you need to save towards some certain things, because the truth of the matter is not everything is free. Some things you have to pay for it, right? And if you want to join those people who are doing selling knowledge, the affiliate marketing guys, of course, they do cool stuff. What they sell is even knowledge, right? Basically selling to people on how they can be better at what they do. So what they are selling is even knowledge. Let's even look at it. It's knowledge. That's what they're selling. So there's a high commission that comes with what they sell. So affiliate marketing, things that you can do. See 18 years old, 19-year-old saying that they made 1 million naira. I mean, when I was 18 years old, I don't think I made more than 500 naira before in my life. But right now, you go online, you see a 19-year-old saying they made 10 million, they made 5 million naira in a year. And I'm like, what was I doing when I was a young man? What was I doing when I was smaller? That somebody is 18 now and it's making millions. I mean, so that's how, interesting the economy has changed from what it was before, right? What you know based on the skill set that you have is actually changing, right? So it was before you could talk about the other guys and say how awesome what they do is, how awesome what the work is. But now the knowledge when you put your skill set into play, it can translate into something amazing that can work for you, right? And those are some of the things that can help you. So the knowledge economy for who is for everyone, especially people who are trying to expand from what they're doing before to something much more. Students, for other people as well. Then how do you win? Understand the processes. When you understand the processes, you'll be able to win. People are winning every day, right? And there are even people that are winning more than me, and I'm very happy to hear that you win more than me. So when you understand the processes, you will win. And then you need to implement. And then lastly, you need to ensure that you continue to try and try again. So try and try again, which is very key for you. So if you fail now, try again. If you fail again, you continue to try again. But you become better for every time you try again. So that's it from my end. I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, we can still hear you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Right. So if we have
Meant
questions, yeah, thank you.
So, do we have anyone that has a question from the audience or any of the hosts? You can either unmute your mic or ask in the chat box. So, if there are no questions, I guess I have one. Can we hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, you said that we should learn. The first step you gave us is learn.
I can't hear you again. Is that my network?
Okay, I guess I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I can hear you now.
Okay, I said the first step you said we
I can't still hear you. I guess I wanted to be sure this is my network.
Did you get my question?
I didn't hear your question. I think the network.
Oh, okay. So you said the first step is to learn. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Perfect.
Okay, you said the first step is to learn, and I'm wondering where can we learn? You said on the internet, but like specific places.
Okay, specific places. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's
Thank
fine.
you.
So thank you. So I'm going to tell you a couple of places that you can learn from. For instance,
All right.
we have Udemy. You could visit Udemy. There are a lot of free courses. There are thousands of free courses. That's one. Udacity too is there. You have a lot of free courses there that you can also learn from as well. Google has a couple of courses that you can learn from as well. Google, they have a couple of courses. Google itself has a couple of courses. Taking one of them, you could Google Digital Skills for Africa. They have a lot of free courses. Depending on the one that you want, you can go through that one. If you go on LinkedIn as well, LinkedIn Learning, there are a lot of free courses that you can have access to, right? And then if not that, what you can also do is go on Google, look for people that are in your niche or the niche that you feel that will work for you, and then search for what they do, and then follow them, and then look through the courses that you have. So those are some of the places you can go through to see access to free content that you can use to actually learn. And after learning, which of course you have to do, if you want to execute, maybe just around you, maybe just your family and friends. I remember when I started blogging and trying to try my hands on blogging, and I think website design. I did it for my sister when she wanted to get married, and she said, "Okay, I'm getting married. Oh, I know you can write, you can do this." And what I did was I went online. I found out how I was going to design a blog. I put up a blog. I put their picture there, and I wrote something, and I showed it to them. Right? It was something I just did that I just learned online. And years later, you know, my sister's husband didn't forget about it. And when he had a project to do, remember that, oh, this guy did something for me years ago. He's better in it now. I'm going to call him to do it. So, things like that happen, right? So those are ways that which you can, learn to do things.
Wow, thank you very much. I have another
Thank you.
question. So,
Okay.
from your point of view, which do you recommend? Free courses, paid courses, or both?
Okay, so the thing is, I tend to be very wary of paid courses. Paid courses are fantastic, but I would say start with the free one. Understand the basic, right? So that when you go to a master class or whichever class that somebody is offering for you, right, you'll be able to really grasp, because most people won't teach you the foundation, right? They won't teach you the foundation. They're just going to teach you a couple of things that they know. So when you learn on your own, right, and you learn a couple of things, you start working on it. Then maybe if you've made small money, you have a little money aside, you can then pay for a course, of course. But before you pay for something like that, check out their reviews, check out people who used them before, right? So you don't want to go and attend a course that you paid 100K for, 200K for, and at the end of the day, you are not able to turn the knowledge that you have to work for you so that you can make money. So you need to check reviews, ask questions, but start with the free. Then when you are, gotten to a stage where you're comfortable, then you can pay for something, right? I wouldn't tell you to go and pay for something right now. And if you pay for it and you use your last card and you're not getting results now, you will have problem or you have a challenge. Okay, say for instance now, I heard that a couple of people wanted to join this affiliate marketing thing that's going around, and they also want to sell the information and also get their own content. So they pay for this thing, and the next day they expect to get money, right? And then they start spending money to run ads and stuff like that, and it doesn't work for them. So what they need to do is to actually start from what they have currently. What do you have around you that you can harness, right? If you're not able to sell or able to tell people about what you do within your circle, how much more outside, right? Find one or two people, convert them to understand what you do and stuff like that before you. So start with the organic, then go with the paid. But if you have money to do the paid, why not go ahead? But check for reviews, check their work, check what they've done before. And if you're satisfied with what they've done before, then you can go ahead with them.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, perfectly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, for sharing your knowledge with us. It was an amazing time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate the invite. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll be moving on to the next speaker now. Ruth, you have the floor, please. Okay, so introducing the next speaker. The next the brain behind Knowpreneur. Okay, I just realized I was disconnected for a while. Can we still hear me? Okay. Please indicate if you can hear me. All right. So, introducing our second speaker. Idom is a finance expert and a personal finance advocate. Idom finds satisfaction and fulfillment in teaching youths, and that led him to found FinanceWise, a platform where youths are being taught how to manage their finances so they can get the best out of it. He has been a speaker at different events, both virtual and physical. You're welcome, Idom. You have the floor now. We can't hear you, in case you can hear me. We still can't hear you.
Okay, good evening all. I don't know if you can hear me now. So
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
let me know, maybe
Yes, we can
through
hear you now.
the comment section.
We can hear you now.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go on with the presentation. We can hear you. You can go on with the presentation.
Can you all hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Hello. This is serious.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm so sorry. Apology for the delay. It's the network from my end, I guess. I'm so sorry for that. And I also want to appreciate the first speaker, Mr. 𝐊𝐳𝐥𝐝. Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful presentation and an eye-opener to all of us. I learned a whole lot, even though I've been on and off this session due to some network challenges. So, but with the little I listen, it's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you so much, sir. So without wasting much of our time, let's dive into the next topic of discussion, which is how can I navigate the knowledge economy? So I believe my big brother has done part of the work already. So we are going to build from where he stopped. Okay. Let me reconfirm if you all can hear me again.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Please, thank you so much. So you can see on the screen, how can I navigate the knowledge economy? Sorry, I'm trying to resolve something from my end. Okay, so I'm trying to see if I can share the screen with us, but I'm having some difficulties. Okay, no problem. I think trying to profile an alternative. Okay, so now that you know that the knowledge economy is for you, what is stopping you from jumping in? So I guess my big bro, Mr. 𝐊𝐳𝐥𝐝, has done justice to that, and he told us that knowledge economy is for everyone, whether you are into medicine, you are into technology, you are into financial services, whichever industry you are into, the knowledge economy is for you. And he also let us understand that if you really want to succeed in this industry, you must have the passion, right? You must be determined. You must be determined about your future. If not, then just say no to the industry. So I wouldn't like to talk much on what he said, but I just want to build on that so that we'll understand where we are heading to, right? So now, what are the steps needed to take in order to really navigate in this industry? Um, so we have one, discover yourself. Number two, discover your niche. He was talking about niche the other time. And number three, build authority in your niche. Number three, build an audience, connect with leaders in the niche or industry, whichever one. Study, learn, unlearn, and relearn. These are the things that we're going to be looking at the course of this session of the training. Okay, so now the next thing we'll be looking at is the navigation process, right? Talking about discovering yourself. So how can you discover yourself? So if you look at the next slide, there's a quote by Destiny Odyssey, which said, discovering who you are today is the first step to being who you will be tomorrow. Okay, so in the industry, in order for you to succeed, right, you must discover yourself first of all. You must know who you are, where you stand, and what you have to offer to the audience. So you're not just coming out there as you. Number one, you don't know who you are. Number two, you don't even know what to offer, and you are coming out there to help people or to succeed in the industry. It won't work that way. So you must first of all discover yourself and also discover what you have to offer. Now, in self-discovering process, is a process, right? I call it navigation process. Okay, so number one is there's no an end to it. If you can look at the cycle, there's no an end to it. We have the self-discovery. We have from self-discovery, of course, the next point is self-development and self-mastery, then self-actualization. So in starting or in setting out, you must have a goal, right? You must have your ideal self. It's just like someone, or rather, let me use student for example. As a student, when we are in primary school, for example, you want to be an accountant, you want to be an engineer, you want to be an architect, right? You have an ideal. Wow, this network is something else. I don't know. Can you still hear me?
We can hear you now.
Oh, okay, all right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, okay, so where did I stop? Okay, navigation process. So I'm saying the navigation process has no end, right? In this industry. So you must first of all discover yourself and thereafter develop yourself and then master on yourself and actualize your ideal self, right? So that is a cycle. It has no end, right? By the time you reach the self-actualization, you may like to start over again. Okay, so that is how to navigate your niche, discover your niche. So how can I discover my niche in this industry? All right, so we said for you to succeed in any business, there must be a market for it. If the demand for the product or service is all right. So in fact, at some point, we can say your survival tendency is zero, because people are not seeking for your product. There's no demand for your product. Then your survival is zero in the industry or in the market. All right. So that leads us to the next question: what is a market? A market is a place where two parties, a seller and a buyer, can gather to where the seller exchange physical item with the buyer, or virtually where sellers exchange digital items with the buyer. Okay, so we say you cannot just go to the market and start selling until you have something to exchange. Okay, so you can't just hopping into the knowledge economy if you don't have something to give. We'll look at a niche. What in the first speaker? And now, what is a niche? For example, you go to the market, you see where they are selling clothes, right? Now, the market is for clothes, but you can niche down to selling just male clothes. Okay, that is a niche. That is a subset in the market. A niche is basically a subset in the market. All right. So they are selling clothes, but your own specification there is men wears or women wears or children wears, whichever one you choose to be your niche. Okay, just like in writing, you can be a copywriter, all right, or you can be a content writer. I don't know if they are different. Okay, so I'm not an expert in that, so I may not be able to explain in details, right? So take for example a doctor or an accountant. For example, we have financial analysts, we have those who are into tax, we have those who are into financial preparation of financial statement, and we have those who are basically into interpretation of financial statement. So these are different niche in a finance profession, right? Taking finance for an example. So in discovering your niche, there are some questions you need to answer, because a lot of us don't know what we specialize on. We don't know our niche. We just look at the market. You know, the market is there. Yes, let's hop in. But then once we hop in, we find it difficult to succeed because we don't really niche down. So that is why I come up with this. Answering these questions will help you determine what you will likely start with as your online course or as a set out in the knowledge economy. Number one, we said identify problems you can solve, and who are the people that need this solution, etc. So you must first of all identify a problem, right? For example, people are finding it difficult to understand LinkedIn. Okay, how to use LinkedIn. We have a whole lot of people trooping into the space now, and people don't know how to use LinkedIn. Now we have the social media as a whole, right? We have the Facebook, we have the LinkedIn, we have the Instagram, we have Twitter, we have all sorts of social media out there. But then you can decide to niche down to just LinkedIn, teaching people how to get the best out of the platform. Okay, so that is the number one problem. People are finding it difficult to scale through on LinkedIn, so you can come out there, provide a solution to them, and that is it. Okay, identify problems you can solve. Now the next thing is, what are your passions? These problems that exist in the society or in the environment, are they your passions? Are they things you can easily talk on for hours without being tired or without finding difficulties in? So if they are not things that you can talk freely on, then you need to work on yourself, right? So what are your passion? Then number three, what are you skilled at? When people come to you for help, what are they asking you about? Now, the first speaker was talking about web development, or rather web creation, that he created an app for his sister who wanted to get married, and eventually in the future, after years of being into the marriage, the husband wanted to do something, and he come back to him, right, that he did something for us before now, and I believe by now he must have been a master or good at it. Okay, so with that he can say, oh, okay, so people knows me with this, let me develop myself on it, you understand. So we also have our friends and close associates who come to us seeking for similar things. You may not know that, oh, this is what you are good at, but people are watching you and they always come to you to pick your brain, right? So what are they what are they asking you about? What are you skilled at, right? Then the next thing is, what are you experienced with? Maybe you've got experience with a career path or an online program. So what I experience with, are you a digital marketer? Are you an experienced digital marketer? Are you a content creator? Are you a copywriter? Are you an accountant? So what are you experienced with? So answering these questions will help you to set into the knowledge economy. Then the last thing there, they say your niche must be something that people are looking for. To get the best, it's always advisable to do what you love doing. All right. So in order to give out the best at every point in time, it's advisable for you to do what you love doing. All right. So then that leads us to the next slide. Right. So some people will say, oh, I'm good at so many things, so I'm good at 100 things. But then there's a way we can break it down, right? So that leads us to the next slide. So what do you do if you are multi-talented? So what is the market need? If you are multi-talented, there are some certain questions that you need to answer as well. What are the market needs? Oh, I'm a content writer, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a web developer, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that. But then, hey, you can't do all of them at once, right? If you are doing everything at once, you're shooting yourself on the leg. Okay, so what is the demand of the market? Now we've known what is market, right? I think I've explained that earlier. So what is the need of the market? Now a whole lot of us may say, I have no idea, or I don't know what the market is into. Now Google has helped us. You can go to Google. Google has a tool you use to check or to see what people are demanding for or seeking for online, and the tool is called Google Trend. Okay, Google Trend. You can go to Google and search for Google Trend to learn more about it. Okay, then the next thing that you need to ask yourself, you need to look inward. What is your strongest point? Yes, you might be good at 100 things, but there's one thing that you are extremely good at. So what is that thing? So you need to ask yourself that question, and you can also come up with a kind of scale of preference, list out all your skills, and then you can award marks to them. Okay, this is the one that carried based on series of questions. Okay, then the one that has the highest question, the highest marks or points, is the one you go with. Okay, so so that would lead us to the next slide. Okay, now that you've discovered your niche, okay, and you know the demand of the market, but then the market don't know you. I believe you understand, right? So now you know the demand of the market. I also know your strengths and you know what to bring in, but then the market don't know you. What are you supposed to do? You need to build an authority in your niche. All right, build an authority. Building an authority here entails that telling people that you are good at what you do. Now we're talking of the online space here. Now online space is not like it's different from the physical entirely. Is though they are similar anyway, because even in a physical uh, mm, looking at the physical example, if you don't showcase your talent to people around you won't know what you are good at. So also with the online space. All right, so if you don't tell people what you are good at, and if people don't see that, oh, you are truly good at this thing, and then there's no way they can patronize it, there's no way they can come to you. Tell us that you are a web developer, but we are not seeing your content, we are not seeing your portfolio. as regard web developing. So how do you want people to be that, oh, this is you, or you are good at this? How do you want people to patronize you? Okay, so we have a whole lot of scammers here and there. People have been victimized of a whole lot of things in the name of they want to learn this, they want to learn that, but they end up being scammed. What I mean here is they end up paying money for something that is not worth it. They pay money, but they are getting something gibberish in return. You understand? So you need to build an authority. Let people know that yes, I'm good in this thing. I'm good in doing this. Okay, so that is what I mean by building an authority. Then building an authority leads us to the next point. All right, the next slide. Looking at the next slide, telling us to what audience, right? Build an audience. Now, the thing is this: not everyone will be your customer. There's no two way about it, right? Some people will say we have more than 1 billion of people in the earth and in the world, and if you put out anything, they can patronize you. No, that is not true. It's not totally true anyway. You need to build an audience. Number one, you discover your market. Number two, you also discover the need of the market. And number three, you discover your strengths. You are able to align your strengths to the need of the market. And number three, you are able to build an authority, right? Then number five rather, you need to build an audience. You need to get people who believe and trust you. You get, so that is where you get to connect with people. You need to let people know what you do. You understand? By sharing out stuff there every day, telling people what you do. For example, Google is there. Do you understand? You can learn a whole lot of things on Google. The first speaker has taught us or are giving us the platform. We can learn stuff for free and also for paid. You can go to Google, ask questions how you can build an audience. But then I'll list out some points to us tonight, right? Building an audience here. Number one, you must be available, right? Now let's take LinkedIn or Facebook for example. I advise, if you are setting out for the first time, right, I advise you stick to just a single platform. Yes, don't be here, don't be there, don't belong to some. You'll be distracted, your attention will be divided, and because your audience of Facebook are different from your audience of LinkedIn, your audience of LinkedIn are different from the audience of Instagram. So you have not built trust. Yeah, I'm not saying that you can't do that, you can achieve that, but then if you're just setting out, it's an advice anyway, you just stick to one single platform. Focus on Google. If it is Neuraland you want to use, focus on Neuraland. Build your audience there first. Once you build an authority and you've also be able to build an audience, then you can stretch out to other platform. Once you're going to other platform, it's easy for you to scale through because your audience might follow you to that new platform you're trying to explore. You understand? Because of course you'll be carrying your audience along. Okay, so you must be available, you must be consistent, you must put out quality content out there. By so doing, people will begin to trust and believe you. If you say something, people will believe you so easily. All right, so this will also lead us to next slide, because some of us will be asking question that okay, how can I actually do this, because I need to see what other people are doing. You understand? So you cannot just wake up one morning and say, oh, you want to be Dangote or you want to be 𝐊𝐧𝐨𝐥𝐝 Odegbami. Sorry if I don't pronounce her name correctly. 𝐊𝐧𝐨𝐥𝐿 Odegbami is Mr. 𝐊𝐿 for short. Is a marketing strategist, all right, and also a brand strategist. So you can't wake up one morning and say, I'm a brand strategy, I'll be competing with Mr. 𝐊𝐿. No. You need to take it step by step, right? Now I believe 𝐊𝐿 is a leader in his area. Okay, so you look at for him, look at things he does, and I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm talking to myself, because it appears that I used to have some network challenges. Am I still talking to myself, or I'm talking to all of us? if you can hear me, can you please say something? Because it is I can't even I can't even see the screen. So I would rather ask you to say a word. Please, if you can hear me, I wanted to say something.
I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, please, can you tell me where I stop? To which point did you hear me?
I think you were talking about how one could navigate knowledge economy. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. Can you hear me?
Okay. Can you still hear me now? Because I just got disconnected for some seconds.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Okay. All right. Thank you. So we're talking of connect with leaders in the niche. Okay, you need to connect with people who are expert in your niche. Okay, I'm not saying you should compete with them in any way, but rather learn from what they are doing. Okay, not don't copy word for word or verbatim. So you learn and also apply to what you are doing. So the first speaker was talking about implementing. We attend thousands of or tens of courses, but would end up not implementing any, and we still remain the way we are just because we don't implement, and we end up complaining that, oh, this person or this I just wasted my money on this course, blah 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 blah. So we need to as well implement whatsoever we are learning in order to get it right. Okay, so this will lead us to the next slide. Study, learn, unlearn, and relearn. Study, learn, unlearn, and relearn. So now we need to study. Okay, you need to attend training, register for courses, also try and connect with peers, connect with leaders, right? Like as I mentioned earlier, you also need to unlearn some habits or some stuff, some old stuff, because if you don't adopt the spirit of unlearning, then there's no way you can improve. Okay, so if you want to be great in this industry, you need to unlearn your old skills so that you accommodate new skills. All right, and by accommodating new skills here, I mean you relearning new skills. Okay, so that is that. So now the next slide are also wants us to look at is the problems. Okay, most of the times these are the problems with ourselves. Haven't identified, haven't know your skills, your skills, and also identify the market. All right, so a whole lot of us still have issues with setting out, and these issues are attached to number one, self-limitation. We oftentimes set limitation for ourselves, which are not real in any way. we set that limitation for ourselves, but it's not real. The limitation we set for ourselves most of the times um, caused by us, we ourselves. We feel like, oh, I'm not good at this, or people will not believe me, or if I do this, people will not trust me. You just come up with so many excuses, and we allow fears to set in, and that is it, and that will be the end. So that is why most of the times, most people pay for courses and end up not implementing anything, and it looks as if they don't know, or rather they don't have single idea of of so many things, but then they know it, but they, because they refuse to implement, they end up paying for similar courses on and on and on. Okay, so the next item that people are always have issues with, knowing your ideal clients. Who are your precise clients? So we do have issues with this. So like I mentioned before, now by the time that you're able to build an authority and also build audience, your precise clients are your audience, right? So if you are able to build an authority, then you be able to know your ideal client. Okay, so also setting out, you need to answer some questions. Okay, I think I've asked some question earlier on as regards discovering your niche, and if you are multi-talented. Okay, this question needs to be answered by you as well. By the time that you fail to answer some of these questions, you'll find yourself in the sea, and you may not have direction at the end of the day. And the last point I also want to mention here is people need you to come to their rescue. Are you willing to do that? Thousands of people are in need of you to come for their rescue. Are you willing to do that? So I'm leaving us with this question, and this very question here leads me to the end of my presentation. If you all can hear me,
We can hear you.
oh, okay, all right. So I'm done with my own session. And thank you also for the opportunity to share with you all.
Thank you very much, Idom. So I guess we've come to the end of today's program. I hope we learned a lot. I hope we learned a lot. Please, can we hear me?
Yes, I can hear you from my end.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who tuned in and stayed with us to this point. You are greatly appreciated. Tomorrow is another day. We'll be meeting same time, same place, 4 p.m. here on YouTube. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you learned a lot. If you have questions from today, like after digesting everything we've learned, because a lot of knowledge was poured out, after digesting, going over it, if you have any question, you can always bring it back tomorrow, and then our host will be here to attend to you, give you answers, and explain anything that you do not understand to you. Thank you very much for joining us today. Till next time. Bye.